A majestic rocket-powered cruiser gracefully soars high above a scorching desert. Following close behind in perfect formation is an eclectic array of smaller rocket-powered craft, each armoured and prepared for war that looms. Inside these ancient vessels, hundreds of men toil perilously, dedicated to keeping these majestic ships airborne. Traversing the skies in impeccable formation, they evoke a reminiscent feeling of a mighty warship fleet from nations long lost to time. The oceans have vanished, leaving nothing but a boundless desert and a rocky wasteland. Yet, as always, man's instinct for war remains. This is the final fleet of House Sayedi, and you, noble viewer, assume the role of the commander of these last remnants. This is HighFleet, a unique action strategy game mixing physics-based combat, exploration, management, and diplomacy. As giant flying ships wage spectacular aerial warfare, a prophecy tells of one who will save the world. Could it be you? Nuclear war has ravaged the capital and the world is slowly succumbing to decay. You stand as the last prince of House Sayedi, a powerful duke in your own right. You are surrounded by faithful and loyal men. Your survival is paramount, for you must endure long enough to strike back against a gathering of rebel nations and halt this war before the world is consumed by darkness. This daunting task can only be accomplished by capturing one of the last remaining nuclear power stations deep inside enemy territory. This is an honoured relic of forgotten technology and a potent bargaining chip. Take command of this fleet, navigate the skies, and wage war to reclaim your birthright. The fate of the dying world rests in your hands. Your choices will affect your men and the fate of the people of Durat. Success in this task will require careful exploration, clever resource management, cautious diplomacy, all while building a fleet capable of running the gauntlet through hostile territory. At the heart of HighFleet is a unique form of combat in which giant ships bristling with weaponry duel above the desert. While it may look simple, this is no mindless button masher. Battles are won by skillfully moving into positions that allow you to exploit your enemy's weak spots. Weapon selection, fleet loadout, and timing of strike all play a major part in success. The battlescape is a gritty and visceral experience, controlled through an immersive diegetic interface, with buttons, knobs, and switches all controlled by the player as if you were inside the ship. With a map interface to plot courses, manage fleets, and track targets, the HUD reacts to events like ship liftoff and refueling with lights and buzzers to indicate certain states. The battlefield can be dark, cloudy, and obscured with smoke trails, explosions, shell flashes, and fires. Damage taken is indicated by on-screen visible damage, which really ups the ante in large-scale fights. The sound design with autoloaders whirring, cannons thumping, missiles whooshing, all does an impressive job of putting you right into the fight. Agile fighters streak through the air in high-stake dogfights. Missiles whiz through the skies with unrelenting precision. It turns the battlefield into a ballet of explosive power. Players can deploy these potent weapons tactically and strategically, altering the tide of battle with each explosive impact. Swift and versatile corvettes add another layer to the aerial symphony, with excelling at hit-and-run tactics. Their agility and speed make them formidable adversaries, but demand strategic finesse from players. Airborne carriers and cruisers emerge as mobile command centers, coordinating waves of fighters and influencing the course of battle. These floating fortresses become pivotal in deploying and managing squadrons, and turning the tide of battle in their favor. They can be built for support and auxiliary roles, as well as frontline ships. In this airborne theatre of war, even the largest armadas fear the spectre of devastating strategic nuclear weapons. These powerful armaments possess the capability to reshape the battlefield in an instant, demanding careful consideration and strategic planning. Opening this box can lead to devastating consequences in the form of brutal retaliatory strikes and the destruction of the general population, vastly hindering your chances of aid. But the battleground extends beyond firepower. HighFleet introduces a multifaceted dimension to aerial combat, where electronic warfare and signal intelligence play pivotal roles in success. intercepting enemy communications, tracking radar emissions, deploying jamming tactics, and executing feints become indispensable strategies, adding layers of depth and complexity to the Skyward clash. HighFleet's combat is a dynamic and strategic dance with a full choice of deploying fighters, bombers, tankers, assault ships, cruise missiles, corvettes, frigates, carriers, or even totally your own design. The strategies are only limited by your imagination. For example, recreate nuclear submarine doctrine by scattering cruise missile armed vessels throughout the desert where they can strike at enemy fleet assets. Or use radar pickets and jammers to locate and lock down enemy fleet assets for carrier airstrikes. Or build a fleet of battle cruisers and just batter your way through the enemy, stopping only to refuel. Radar emissions are a double-edged sword, requiring players to skillfully manage their own radar usage while seeking out and exploiting the signals emitted by their adversaries. The careful orchestration of radar activity adds stealth and subtlety to the aerial clashes. The use of ground radar or careful observation can lead to the discovery of coveted hidden cities, far away from the ravages of war and offering safe harbour. Jammers are an excellent disruptive force, obfuscating enemy signals and creating chaos in communication networks. Strategic deployment of jamming techniques allows players to sow confusion amongst rival fleets, turning their confusion into a decisive tactical maneuver. Careful use of jamming doctrine will force their enemies to waste their strategic assets on ghosts in the desert. Feints and the art of misdirection become a vital tool in a commander's arsenal. Wage full-scale guerrilla warfare. Players can create illusions and false signals, strike vital convoys, lure enemy fleets into planned ambushes, or orchestrate daring escapes from a perilous situation. Use all the tools you have to slip through the net and sow maximum discord. Beyond the skies, HighFleet extends its strategic depth to vital ground operations. Commanders can form specialized strike fleets to raid towns, refuel, gather essential supplies, and recruit allies in the form of powerful warlords, noble tribesmen, or loyalist forces. Just don't stay too long, as the enemy is sure to be alerted to your presence and respond. This introduces a dynamic layer to the overall campaign, requiring players to balance their aerial dominance with strategic maneuvers on the surface, timing their movement and making vital repairs before the enemy responds. Collecting intel, refitting ships, collecting powerful non-standard ammunition is all essential to the war effort, with efficient supply and logistics being the most important factor to a successful operation. In the expansive world of HighFleet, success in the skies demands not only mastery of firepower, but a keen understanding of electronic warfare, signal intelligence, and strategic decision-making. The fusion of these elements creates a gripping narrative where every intercepted message, radar emission, jamming tactic, or feint shapes the course of battle and provides players with an immersive and dynamic experience that transcends traditional aerial combat simulations. It offers a fairly robust prologue, which holds the player's hand throughout, teaching most of the mechanics and places the players right into the Grand Duke's command chair. For those inexperienced with the concept of naval operations, I feel the tutorial does a pretty sound job of explaining how everything works. Anyone familiar with naval simulators like Cold Waters, or those that have real-life experience, will find this game exciting and rewarding. Lack of skill on the battlescape can be more than compensated for with sound strategic decisions, and vice versa. Bad planning and lack of foresight can sometimes be redeemed with pure fighting skill. One must always remember though that this is a guerrilla war behind enemy lines, and that if given the chance, the enemy will make you pay hard. The game has an excellent and beautifully illustrated manual, which goes into great depths explaining the important facets of the game. For me, this was one of the most magical parts of buying a new game, reading the manual back to front on the way home from the shop before starting the game, and it's a sorely missed facet of the gaming world today. With Microprose as the publisher, I am glad to see the grandfather of strategy gaming stay true to his old school service. Mastering HighFleet requires more than winning battles. You must explore the mysterious lands of Durat. You must manage your ships, your men, your fuel, and other resources. You must engage in diplomacy with other factions, and then there's the prophecy to be unraveled. Thanks to HighFleet's in-game ship editor, you can build the perfect starting fleet to suit your style, with refits being possible in the field for the cost of parts and time. The many distinctive ship options and the upgrade paths ensure the game will provide plenty of replay value. The diesel punk visual aesthetic, paired with an evocative musical backdrop and immersive soundscape, forms a beautiful blend reminiscent of Dune, infused with captivating Middle Eastern and Russian aesthetics. HighFleet's world is a canvas painted with the echoes of these diverse cultural influences, creating a truly unique and unforgettable atmosphere. As you delve into the mysteries, you'll find a world that beckons you with the allure of its enigmatic lore, a realm where technology is inspired by real-world weaponry and bear a distinct leaning towards the rugged elegance of Russian systems. This rare and exceptional feature grounds the game in a tangible reality, giving it a sense of a world lost to time. The intricate tapestry of HighFleet's narrative unfolds within a landscape where every detail, from the visual elements to its underlying lore, reflects a harmonious fusion of the cultural nuances of the Middle East and Russia. It's a world that not only captivates your senses but invites you to unearth its secrets, promising an exploration that goes beyond the ordinary. If you let it open your mind, HighFleet becomes more than just a gaming experience. It transforms into a journey through a meticulously crafted realm that will keep you enthralled until you've uncovered every secret and followed your destiny to the very end. It reminds me of the days around the D&D table where real effort was put into an immersive experience. HighFleet shows that substance can be found through cleverly designed systems and immersive storytelling. A game can be graphically beautiful, but have zero depth, a trend that's very common today. I'm glad to say that HighFleet goes the other route. It is beautiful because you feel a part of the world. You feel like your choices matter, and the graphics, while simple in some places, actually work with the game to enhance the experience. The only complaint I have, and one that is only really relevant to me as a creator, is that the game is 1080p native, and you cannot change this resolution as far as I'm aware. I did struggle to find a setting that I could record the game properly on. Despite this, the game runs completely fine at full screen on my 1440p resolution monitor. I also had to turn off the dithering effect, as I know YouTube hates this on uploads less than 4K. If you have any love of strategic gaming, then I highly recommend HighFleet. I give it an 8 out of 10. It is a thinking man's game with enough adrenaline to keep you engaged and even inspire a new generation of strategy gamers. If there was a multiplayer, this game would easily be a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I did see the devs have considered adding a multiplayer at a later date, though at this stage the engine does not support this feature. HighFleet has a great balance of planning, action, tangible consequences for your actions, and I foresee many attempt at this game. As I delve further in with the hopes of victory, if you would like to see more, let me know and I'll start a series. For me, it really scratches the itch with its story, systems, and overall gameplay loop. Now it's time to do your part and hit that like button. Stay tuned for more insights into the world of strategy gaming by subscribing to the channel. Until next time, Commander Tyrael, out.